Payday hits. Your phone buzzes, and the number in your account jumps. For a moment, you feel it. Relief. Maybe even a little rich. You promise yourself this month will be different. Then you blink and the money is gone. The rent, the card, the subscriptions you forgot you had. And somehow, you feel exactly as broke as last month. You probably blame the prices or the size of the paycheck. But the real reason is far stranger than your bank balance. Because no matter how much that number grows, this feeling follows you. A raise, a bonus, a whole new salary. The thrill fades and broke quietly creeps back in. So why does more money never seem to feel like enough? The answer isn't in your wallet. It's in your brain. Scientists even have a name for this. The hedonic treadmill. Hedonic just means to do with pleasure. The idea is simple and a little cruel. Whatever happens to you, good or bad, you drift back toward the same level of happy. You get the thing. The joy spikes. Then you adapt, and the joy quietly drains away. Like a treadmill, you keep running, but you never actually move. In 1971, two psychologists, Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell, first described it. They noticed something uncomfortable about human beings. We turn almost anything new into our new normal fast. The raise that felt huge in January is invisible by June. The car you dreamed about becomes just the car you drive. Your brain resets the baseline every single time. And your baseline is greedy. A few years later, Brickman tested this in the most extreme way imaginable. He studied two groups of people. People who had just won the lottery, and people who had just been paralyzed in accidents. Common sense says the winners should be happier. Forever. But that is not what the numbers showed. Within about a year, the winners were not much happier than anyone else. Everyday pleasures, a coffee, a chat, a sunset, felt duller to them. Next to winning millions, ordinary life had lost its sparkle. And the accident survivors, they adapted too. They were nowhere near as unhappy as you would expect. Both groups drifted back toward their own baseline. The event faded. The person remained. Now here is where this quietly costs you money. When your income rises, your spending rises to meet it. Economists call this lifestyle creep or lifestyle inflation. It just means your normal gets more expensive every time you earn more. A bigger paycheck buys a bigger apartment, a nicer car, a pricier phone, a fuller shopping cart, and none of it feels like luxury for long. Within weeks, it is simply your life. So the raise did not make you richer. It just raised the price of feeling normal. And you are back on the treadmill, running again. Part of this trap lives in a single brain chemical. Dopamine. You have heard dopamine called the pleasure chemical. That is not quite right. Dopamine is less about enjoying and more about wanting. It spikes before you get the thing in the chase. The shiny purchase, the notification, the glowing buy now. But the moment it is yours, the wanting collapses. The reward you imagined is never as loud as the craving was. So you start chasing the next thing. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what it evolved to do. For your ancestors, never being satisfied kept them alive. The ones who always wanted more food and more safety survived. But in a world built to sell you things, that same wiring quietly bankrupts you. If money really bought lasting happiness, whole countries would prove it. So an economist named Richard Easterlin went looking. In 1974, he compared income and happiness across nations and decades. Countries got dramatically richer. Televisions, cars, and comfort all multiplied. But reported happiness barely moved. This became known as the Easterlin Paradox. More money for everyone did not mean more joy for everyone. Once your basic needs are met, the extra buys surprisingly little peace. But surprisingly little is not nothing. Money does matter up to a point. The psychologist Daniel Kahneman won a Nobel Prize studying how we judge our own lives. With Angus Deaton, he looked at how income shapes your day-to-day mood. They found more money did ease daily stress as it climbed. But the emotional payoff flattened out once basic comfort was reached. Below that line, money buys real relief from fear from scarcity. Above it, more zeros mostly buy a story you tell yourself. Kahneman also named a trap called the focusing illusion. It is one sentence worth remembering. Nothing in life is as important as you think it is while you are thinking about it. When you imagine the new car, you picture pure joy. You forget the traffic, the payments, the way it goes invisible in a week. Whatever you focus on always looks bigger than it will ever feel. There is one more thief on this treadmill. Comparison. You never judge your money in a vacuum. You judge it against your neighbor, your feed, your old classmate. What stings isn't how much you actually have. It is how much you have compared to the people around you. A raise feels amazing until you learn your coworker got a bigger one. And social media turns this dial all the way up. You are no longer comparing yourself to your street. You are comparing yourself to the most polished moments of millions of strangers. No paycheck on earth can win that race. So is the treadmill a life sentence? Not quite. Researchers like Sonia Lyubomirsky study what actually shifts our baseline. Some of your happiness is set by genes and temperament. Some comes from your circumstances, money included, and that part is smaller than you think. But a real slice is left to what you choose to do. And that slice is where the treadmill loses its grip. The trick is to spend money in the few ways your brain never fully adapts to. First, buy experiences, not just objects. A trip, a concert, a meal with people you love. Objects fade into the background. Memories you keep replaying. Second, spend on other people. The researchers Elizabeth Dunn and Michael Norton found something surprising. People told to spend money on others ended the day happier than those who spent it on themselves. Third, buy time, not just stuff. Paying to remove a chore you hate often beats buying one more thing you'll stop noticing. And fourth, slow the adaptation down on purpose. Gratitude is not a greeting card cliche. It is a break on the treadmill. Noticing what you already have interrupts the brain's rush to call it normal. Here is the quiet power hiding in all of this. If your normal doesn't have to keep getting more expensive, then your next raise doesn't have to vanish. You can let your lifestyle rise slowly on purpose, far slower than your income. The gap between what you earn and what you spend, that gap is your freedom. Invested, it becomes money that works while you rest. Not because you deprived yourself, but because you stopped paying more and more just to feel the same. So next payday, when the number jumps and that little thrill arrives, notice it, enjoy it, but don't quite trust it. Because the thrill was never going to last. It isn't built to. The broke feeling that follows isn't proof you need more. It is just your brain resetting the baseline, the way it always has. The treadmill only wins if you don't know you're on it. And now you do. More money was never going to feel like enough. So the real question was never how to earn more. It was how to finally step off and let enough be enough.